Hello and welcome to this brand new series on ET Now, Surviving the Slowdown. On the show, India's top CEOs talk to me about the big story that lies ahead for the country. At a time when there is a global crisis, the rupee is highly volatile, policy is facing a paralysis, and reforms are all off track. Top CEOs on their factory floors, in their headquarters, giving us the real picture. How they're not only surviving the slowdown, but making use of it so that they can have a better future ahead. We'll start first. We'll focus on manufacturing. India's top companies, Bajaj, Bharat Forge and Thermax.
Somebody, the top guys in the government and the Prime Minister must say this, and go ahead and shoot. Maybe the leadership, you see.
We just don't have the policies for coal to be supplied to our power plants. We are actually importing 30% of our coal.
India's busy factory floors are slowing down. Sales growth for industrial products is down to 10-year lows. Cost of borrowing has gone up and demand is down sharply. Capital goods, construction and power sectors are cutting expansion plans, hurting such shops. As a result, manufacturing is desperate for policy oil to keep these machines going. Among the key issues that the sector faces today is a lack of reform that has slowed investment down. A weak national manufacturing policy that's not helped, and a volatile rupee in the short term is making imported components very expensive. To understand these key issues on the ground, we travel to one of the world's largest forging firms, Bharat Forge in Pune, to meet with Baba and Amit Kalyani. They're surviving the slowdown by turning to exports and exploring new business areas.
Thank you very much for joining us on the show. It's a great pleasure. Surviving the slowdown. How hard is it to survive this particular slowdown in India? Policy slowdown, governance slowdown, European slowdown and a domestic crunch.
Well, it does create a lot of complex problems. But, in our company, we are used to cycles. We have seen the big financial meltdown of 2008,
right.
2009. We are seeing for the last many months the European crisis. So we are a little bit more conditioned to deal with slowdowns.
In a slowdown, people often think out of the box. As slowdown survivors, what do you think Bharat Forge is trying to do in today's environment to keep up with its own growth targets?
I think we have two very big strengths as a company, speed and flexibility. And we've used both of those to improve operational efficiencies, increase our customer spread, get new business in areas that we weren't in, and therefore fill up some of the available capacity that we have, and as you said, not only survive but thrive during the slowdown.
Are you making the most of the rupee's decline on your export side, or is it still dampening the cost factor?
I think it's a little bit of both. The rupee decline is a good intervention by the market to make India more competitive. India as a country must now look at itself as more competitive in the global scenario.
Yeah.
And all the policies must be directed towards using this competitive strength.
Right. But that's the very point. While we should make use of a slowdown, are we really doing it as a country? Today we should actually be one of those saying, we are giving 7% growth and others are giving negative. But we don't seem to have latched onto that edge.
That's because of so much of confusion in terms of government policy and implementation that foreigners, investors are generally afraid of making any investments because there's no clarity.
Clearly there is a lack of political consensus in the whole process. I think that's one of the stumbling blocks.
That's the point. So we'll discuss those policies. We'll discuss really as optimists how are Amit and Baba Kalyani looking to take their company to the next phase, working despite the government. This is iron.
Yeah, this is hot iron. Yeah.
Now I can see plenty of large, components being made for the oil and gas industry and so on.
Energy sector.
This is a huge piece of your business. Share a little bit about that.
And this is kind of de-risking from the automotive business. So when the automotive business is in a downturn like it's now, this business works well.
We focus on 5 areas in industrial. That is energy, oil and gas, rail, marine, mining, and general engineering and construction industry.
Yeah.
And these are all sectors that are very capital goods or component intensive. And we are investing in creating the capability to supply into all these industries.
Right.
Growth in that sector has been higher than our average growth, and that's actually pushing our overall revenue growth higher.
Where has the government helped you in that exercise?
In a B2B business, the intervention of the government is at a very low level. It's largely in policy.
Right.
So if you look at India today, where government can help you, if we had the right policies on energy, why should the energy be a monopoly today of the state? There's no competition. Okay? So the energy costs just keep going up.
Yeah.
If the energy was a little more competitive, your input costs will come down.
Amit, let me ask you this. Now, as generation 2, do you think this has been worth it? Because your dad slogged all these years. He built what he wants to. But just as when you are trying to unleash your energies in your thinking, there are so many external factors at play. That wave that you may want to ride is one that's at least at the bottom right now.
No, Shaili, actually, the base that we have, either in terms of infrastructure, assets, more importantly, people and attitude is one that we will shine irregardless of what happens.
I mean, somewhere the rope is going to snap, right? Your cost can go only that much lower. So you can make use of a slowdown to cut costs, improve efficiency only up to a mark.
I don't think that it's only up to a mark. I think we still have a lot of potential because in a lot of these new sectors, we are starting from almost zero. Whereas in the automotive sector, we are very well entrenched. We have a large market share. In a lot of the non-automotive sectors, we are just starting out. So we have a huge potential headroom for growth. We have huge potential headroom for adding value and doing a lot more for our customers.
So that means
where we can
diversify a little more?
Yes, absolutely. Diversify, add value.
And today we are at a component level.
Yeah.
We make all these big components.
Yeah.
All these things go into large machines.
Right.
Tomorrow we will make machines.
And the value add there is significantly higher. So your competitive advantage.
We are setting up a plant to make turbine and generators for the power generation.
I'd be interested to know, I know Amit is completely hands-on today, but does this time also give you this kind of a slowdown period, more time to spend with the next generation, onto the next thinking?
But it gives you more time to spend with people.
Yeah.
So we are using this time, we have an innovation center, we are using this time to get more innovation training with people, give them more opportunities for trying out new things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's the time. When you're running your plants at full capacity, there's no time for
any of this.
That's right. And therefore, I suppose slowdown can become a blessing in disguise.
See, the way we look at it is a slowdown is a time to do things which can then propel you faster when the demand comes.
We are upset for one reason. The potential of India is much higher than where we are today. And I think even government is upset about it. Okay? We need to be at 9% growth rate.
Yeah.
We need to be doing far more things here than what we are doing. So we are clearly upset at that.
And we do hope that this is very much being heard by everybody, including our policy makers, because we've come down to the factory floors for that very reason, to tell you that business is as usual, but we do need policy to come back on track.